Good Monday morning. This is your Loudoun County weather outlook. It's going to be a nice stretch of days this side of the north here. It is going to be funneling cooler air east of the mountains and drier air. Cooler, low to mid 80s, which is much better than the 90 to 92 or 3 that we've had, and heat index is over 100. Today it will be around 83 to 85 and feel like 83 to 85 degrees. Just a really nice day. Tonight lows on the low 60s, tomorrow highs into the low to mid 80s as well. Same thing on Wednesday. Nighttime lows tomorrow night could get down into the upper 50s if we're fortunate, but probably low 60s more likely. It is on Thursday, Friday, Saturday that we get into another 90s stretch. Low 90s on Thursday, mid, maybe even upper 90s on Friday, and back to the low to mid 90s on Saturday as we get that showers and thunderstorms to return. More showers and storms are possible on Sunday. Highs within around 90 degrees. Unfortunately, the muggy and hot temperatures will continue into next week. So let's see what we're looking at here. Pretty simple forecast the next couple of days. This side is just strong enough to push and shunt any moisture to the south as well as bring a northerly flow. As long as that cooler air and that high is to the west of us, we're going to stay on the better side. Now on Wednesday, the high starts to shift east, you see, even on Tuesday, but the cooler air sticks around one more day, as that's kind of where the ridge is. It's not until Thursday we see the high disappear and temperatures as well as winds shift out of the south-southwest, increasing our humidity, increasing the temperatures. So Thursday we were back up in the 90s, and then on Friday, same deal. Temperatures back up in the 90s and maybe even mid and upper 90s, depending on exactly how the trajectory of winds are. On Saturday, we do have a disturbance moving our way, so we'll see that here with a good chance of afternoon and evening showers and storms coming in, which is nice, as well as on Sunday. But temperatures will be up in the 90s on Saturday and into around 90 on Sunday. Same thing on Monday, still unsettled. And we see that unsettled pattern kind of set in for the following week, but it's very similar to what we had before. It's high to the north. It's just not strong enough to push this muggy air out of the way. Anything above this kind of isotherm here, it's 576, that's the upper level. Actually, the 500 millibar level. But anything below there is really just the muggy, steamy air mass, which is what we've been having all summer long. So we just keep going forward to see if there's any chances of that breaking. It does move a little bit south here late in the period, so we'll see if that brings in some cooler air. This looks like air off the ocean, which is cooler than the air that we have, but also very, very humid and the long range. And then warm back up again, so still another return to really hot temperatures. Also, the trajectory here in the long range, I keep saying, is kind of in a pattern where maybe we would have a chance of some severe weather, so we'll definitely have to watch to see how this pans out. And then in the very long range at this point, it's just hard to say. But this is a pretty strong area of high pressure. As it was saying, it looks like a lot of moisture, showers and thunderstorms, but this is really far off in the future. But that would definitely bring some cooling air late into the pattern. So let's look instead of looking at the overall pattern here of the anomalies, I just want to show you kind of what we're looking at locally here for the 24-hour maximum temperature. So we'll step through these pretty quickly. So you see, pretty nice the next couple of days. Not too bad at all. Temperatures, though, by Thursday here, already up into the low 90s. And then as we go into Friday we bump up a lot. So here we're talking about mid-90s, much, much hotter temperatures. We go into Saturday, look at this. I mean, we got temperatures potentially on Friday to Saturday, some areas seeing 100 degrees possibly. So a really hot forecast. Saturday, we'll see some temperature cooling a little bit, only because of the clouds and things that are around in the afternoon. Again, we see hot temperatures up around 90 at that point. And as we keep on going into the future here, we see that there could be a return back to hotter temperatures next week of the low to mid 90s. It's not until late in the period that we start to see maybe a cool down. So after the start off of a really hot next week, as far as this pattern goes, it looks like we cool down a few days and then warm right back up to really hot temperatures, which is kind of what I was sharing. Saying, hey, there's a little bit of influence off the east, maybe the ocean, but then, boom, right back up. And then it's not until way late in the period, so we should see a cool down here, hopefully, if I got it right, reading the models, by the late period. There it is. That's when the temperatures would really drop if that high to the north really comes down. But we'll see. That's so far off in the future, I wouldn't count on it. In general, you saw general above and much above normal temperatures as the rule. Only this brief respite here, and maybe a brief respite middle of next week before another surge of heat. So that's kind of what we're looking at weather-wise. For the overall precipitation now for the next week, because those showers and storms likely on Saturday and this Sunday, we're up now to maybe another inch of rain, which again is good for no drought. And with all the dryness we experienced this weekend, we will need some rain to kind of offset that dryness. And that's kind of what we see here. And then, like I said, the long range, unfortunately, really looks hot, even to the extended range. It's only right at that end of the extended range that maybe we see a cool down, but that's so far off of the models it may not be true. So that's kind of what we're seeing. All right, have a good Monday and a great week.